Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. 2023 has been a fantastic year for shoes and also for reviewing shoes. We've had so many come in and out here on the channel. I've just gone through 5,000 kilometers this year running, which has meant I've put about 1,000 kilometers into testing shoes, but also about 4,000 kilometers into just general training. And that's what this video is all about, telling you about the shoes that I reach for day after day after day. After I've reviewed them, they've stayed into my rotation and they just keep getting on my feet every day to get the runs done. So we're just gonna go through my best daily, my best race shoe, my best trail shoe, and my best easy and recovery shoe. The ones I've clocked up the most miles in, that I've enjoyed running in the most. So sit back, relax, let's get this video done. Right, let's start out with my best daily shoe of the year. In the first half of the year, I did about 1,750 kilometers in the Nike Invincible 2. Used it for all of my long runs, my training, my easy runs. It's been an absolute classic in my rotation, a really big favorite for such a long time. Super comfortable, super easy to run at very long distances in, and really looks after my body, the joints and limbs and everything, because so many of those Ks I do running in London, running on tarmac, running on really hard surfaces every day. And while that was the shoe I ran the most easy miles in this year, it wasn't my favorite shoe, because in about July time, something came into the channel, which was the Asics Superblast, one of the most fantastic, amazing shoes that has ever come out. This is my first pair, and then I replaced it with this one. I've put about 700 Ks into the first shoe. This is what the wear pattern looks like underneath. Still, probably didn't need to quite replace it, but I got the new one in, and it just felt that little bit more springy, a little bit more fun to run in, so we put about 300 Ks in this. I've got my next pair ready to go because I do not want to run out of stock of this shoe. It is super, super hard to get hold of. I had to get my third pair when we were away in America last week because I just cannot get any in the UK at the moment. So what do I like so much about this shoe? Why has it become such a big favorite of mine? Well, it's super fast. It is so stable going around corners. Never have any sort of issues. Even the grip on it for an Asics shoe isn't that bad. It's not great, but it's really not that bad at all. Can go in any sort of weather conditions and get my runs done. It's awesome at all paces as well. I can go out for a recovery jog in this shoe, and I can go out all out 5K doing some really fast, like 400 meter reps or race of 5K. It feels comfortable at all those different distances. I love the rocker at the front of the shoe. It just gets your feet turning underneath so nicely. And it's just that transition through the foot strike that is just so much fun. I've really never found a shoe that was quite as much fun to run as this one. It's just begging you to go faster every time you put it on. Right now, if I could pick a Comrade shoe for next year, this would definitely be it. For over sort of that 90K distance, I don't know if I'm going to want a carbon plate. This doesn't have a carbon plate in it, but it's so fast and it is so lightweight as well. You really hardly notice it's on the bottom of your feet. The only sort of downside is sometimes you can get some little stones stuck in the bottom of the shoe if you're running some parks and things and some gravelly bits, but it's a very, very minor negative. It's the only negative I can think of. Yes, £210 is way too much to spend on a running shoe, but it brings so much happiness into my life that yeah, I just keep lacing it up every day. If I'd had this shoe at the start of the year, it would without doubt be the shoe that I'd run the most Ks in. So technically it's not, technically it's the Invincible, and I did really stock up on Invincible 2s when I found out the 3 wasn't that fantastic, but then I sold them all again because this came out and this is a much better all-around shoe. So yeah, that's been my best daily shoe of 2023. Right, let's move on to have a chat about races and speed sessions and stuff like that. And my favourite shoe of the year has been the Nike Vaporfly 3. A lot of you have seen in the races I've been doing in the second part of the year, I raced with this exact shoe in Chicago, and I got a newer pair to run the marathon in New York in. I've done about 450 Ks in this pair of shoes here, and the wear is really not too bad at all so far. I'm just going to keep on training it. These are expensive shoes, and I want to get the most miles I can out of this. This really is probably about halfway through its life. Yes, it's not as poppy as a brand new pair. I wouldn't want it to be doing an all-out important goal race in it, but I'm getting my sessions done week after week, training for Valencia in this shoe, and it's still just performing as well, pretty much as well as it did on the day I got it, just not quite as fast. For me, it's just the right amount of stiffness. It's not a super stiff shoe. It has got a little bit of give in it in the carbon plate there. It's just got that right balance of stiffness and speed for me. It's a really, really comfortable shoe. Just get a really solid lockdown in it. No slipping around at all. Nice and wide. I've got quite narrow feet, but my feet are very comfortable in here. If you've got some wider feet, you will really get on with a shoe like this. And just love all the holes in the front of the shoe. This is really getting quite dirty and horrible now, but yeah, super fantastic airflow coming through the shoe. No overheating issues with anything like that. With the grip on the outsole here, it's been really good getting my sessions done when it has been raining as well. Really fantastic grip on the bottom there. It's honestly incredibly hard to think of any negatives about this sort of shoe. Right now, my big goal race of the year is Valencia, which is next week. This is the shoe, well, not this exact shoe, the black version of the shoe is what I'll be running in. Just going to touch on trail very quickly. The shoe I did the most miles in was, unsurprisingly, the Nike Zagama shoe, but I did about 600 Ks in Zagamas. This shoe is completely brand new. This was the pair of shoes I was meant to be running from Courmayeur back to Chamonix in, but I never made it that far at UTMB because I had a complete disaster. We're going to be solving a lot of those problems next year in a bit of a comeback here to hopefully race UTMB again in 2025. There's a lot of work to do before then. Right, moving on to talk about easy and recovery run shoes. My favourite shoe of the year in this category has been another one from Asics, the Gel Nimbus 25. A shoe that I didn't completely fall in love with when I got it, but I picked up quite a nasty injury that I could run through the injury. All the advice from the physio said you can happily run through it. So I got this one back out the cupboard and just absolutely fell in love with it. And then it's just stayed in my rotation ever since. It's the shoe I've been picking up to do those double run days. This is the shoe I'm taking out for my second run of the day. And also I've been reaching for it if my legs are just really, really fatigued and tired, just want a little bit more comfort, a little bit more shock absorption there, then this is the shoe that I'm going to be taking instead of the Super Blast in my sort of general daily rotation. The shoe is, without doubt, it is definitely on the soft side. It really is for those easy and recovery runs, but it's not too soft. You are getting a little bit of bounce back with every stride there. Again, very similar to the Super Blast, just that nice rocker at the front. It's just rotating really nice and just covers the ground so smoothly as you run along. Asics did build this as the most comfortable shoe ever made, and I said the Invincibles were a little bit more comfortable at the start of the year, and I really would now I would change that and say this is without doubt the most comfortable shoe I have ever worn. Really looking forward to keeping this definitely in my rotation. We've done about 200 Ks in this shoe so far, but only really used it in that recovery and easy run thing. Wouldn't want to be taking this up to paces. It's really the kind of shoe that you can put into a rotation. It's not going to be a standout shoe all by itself. Talking about shoes that are a little bit on the soft side, that's where we're going to start out my next video, which is coming up, my 3 most disappointing shoes of the year. So stay tuned for that. That video is coming up now.